Cool, blimey, governors. I'm Eurogamer's here in Higton, and as you can see, I'm currently indulging in a spot of every Londoner's most favourite of pastimes, chimney sweeping. But wait here and you might be shouting, you're having a bubble bath, ain't ya? You don't even have any tools. And you know what? You're right, I don't. I've just been using my tongue to lick the interior of these chimneys clean instead. That's pretty stupid though, right? Well, yes it is, but is it as stupid as some of the things that you can do in Watch Dogs Legion? Find out as I tell you all about 7 stupid things you can do in Watch Dogs Legion when you're bored of saving London. Cool, blimey.
London is well known for having its fair share of tourists and, in turn, tourism-based attractions. You know what I mean, places that encourage things like sightseeing, guided tours, and of course, spending loads of money on useless plastic tat. Because these activities take place in the real world though, pretty much all of them are constrained by a bunch of boring real-world rules. Boring rules like queuing, not entering out-of-bounds areas, not touching fragile or historical items, and more specifically for this first point at least, not doing incredibly stupid things like breaking into famous landmarks and then jumping off of the top of them.
Trespassing is kind of fun.
Thankfully, in the virtual world of Watch Dogs Legion, these stuffy rules from the world of the flesh no longer apply. Or rather, they kind of do, but it's way easier to break them, and there are like 0 real-world consequences. Let's take, for instance, London's world-famous Tower Bridge. In the real world, the City of London actively encourages tourists to climb Tower Bridge and witness London life taking place beneath them through the sturdy glass floor of the walkway. In Watch Dogs Legion, however, Tower Bridge and most other big London landmarks like it have been turned into strongholds for Albion, the main enemy faction in the game. That means while there's fewer tourists to queue behind, there are more machine gun toting guards to avoid. But if you can muster up the nerve to do a spot of trespassing, you can access areas of these historical sites that are completely out of bounds in the real world.
Something tripped the alarm.
Sierra
I'll do
42,
a
Sierra
sweep.
42, this is control. An alarm has been activated near you. Survey the area.
Sweep it
Over.
off. You'll be fine.
For instance, there's no way that the Tower of London's health and safety rules would allow a random member of the public to access the top of the walkways like this, especially without wearing some kind of harness. But in Legion, it's as easy as climbing a ladder. And shooting some guards in the face with a taser, I guess. While up here, you can do all the normal things that sensible members of the public can do from the safety of the walkways, like watching London life taking place below you or checking out the view of the city beyond. But for the thrill seekers amongst you, you can also try out something completely stupid, like, say, jumping from the top of Tower Bridge straight into the River Thames below. Oh, blimey, that was close. Anyway, now to try jumping from the top of the gherkin. Thanks to the London Gatwick Airport drone incident, which closed runways and grounded multiple flights in December of 2018, we already know that drones can be a major source of mischief in the real world. But in the near future of Watch Dogs Legion, where drones are running rampant, you can be even more annoying by indulging in some targeted quadcopter cruelty. Park in any city street and you'll spot literally dozens of drones zipping past every minute, from delivery drones and CTOS spy drones through to more sinister machines like Albion's weaponised anti-terrorism drones. While most sensible people will stick to simply hacking and disabling these drones in order to undertake missions without being spotted or shot at, it's way more stupid and fun to hijack these drones and use them to bully members of the public. Hacking Parcel Fox drones and dropping their loads onto the heads of unsuspecting pedestrians was a favourite stupid hobby of mine, but you can only do that once per drone because you can't pick the parcels back up again. In the end, I just resorted to continually ramming my drone into passers-by until they either ran off to seek shelter in a nearby building or just sat in the middle of the road and had a cry. Ha ha ha! Eat drone, loser! And you thought my Hermes was bad.
Not just fucking big.
Okay, this next point isn't that stupid in the grand scheme of things, but it can serve as quite a nice break in between all that base jumping and drone bumping you've undoubtedly been doing. Oh yeah, and trying to rid London of Albion, of course, but with that being the main point of the game and all. Anyway, what better way to get settled into virtual London than by heading to Camden Town to go clothes shopping at the famous Camden Market. The best time to do this is at night, when you can take in the wacky magnificence of all the brightly lit storefronts that line the main street. There's a huge concentration of clothes shops here, and you can use the in-game currency to purchase a variety of wacky costumes, or just treat yourself to some high-fashion items. While you can't enter any of the buildings, you can buy clothes from pretty much all of the ones along this street, as long as they have that little shop icon in front of them. And each shop has its own unique items, so you can dress your chosen recruit as fashionably or stupidly as you like. Oh yes, that cardboard robot helmet will totally help me blend into a crowd. I'll take it. The UK is a world leader in many fields, including medical research, aerospace technology, literature, and more recently, self-sabotage. But what we're really, really good at is creative swearing.
Lousy maggot.
This is especially true in London, where the multicultural society allows for a huge mix of interesting and inventive insults, and Virtual Watch Dogs Legion London is no different. You can listen to a plethora of pithy put-downs from the pissed-off public in the game, and to demonstrate this fact, all I needed to do was run around like a drunken toddler and bump into as many people as I could. Doing this caused the NPCs to unleash torrents of entertaining abuse, which you'll be able to hear in the following montage. Stupid? Yes. Pointless? Probably. But it's also very, very funny.
I need your shite. Swine. Shit for brain.
And is prone to crowd infesting.
Bugger off.
Are you fucking blind?
You've got shit in your eyes.
Oh, bugger off.
Arsehole. You useless lump of skin.
Get out of my face, arsehole.
Get!
You prick.
That's weird. It's weird what you're doing.
I think I made my views on Brexit pretty clear in my previous Watch Dogs Legion video, so it should come as no surprise that, considering Watch Dogs Legion is set after the UK has left the EU, I've been keeping an eye out for clues as to what the future may hold for us now that we've binned off all our friends and turned ourselves into a lonely island. Thankfully, there are some clues to be found in the form of shop signage, which may help us work out if Brexit will leave us worse off or give us a nice little bulge in our wallets. Let's start by comparing tube prices on this map that I found in Legion's Farringdon Fast Travel Station. There are no Oyster cards in Legion's London. Instead, there's something called a quick ticket, which is £9 for a regular, which I guess is adult, £5.25 for a young or child, and £6.75 for an elder or senior citizen. Looking at the tube map of London in the game, these tickets seem to only cover zones 1 to 2, so I used those parameters for my search, and while there are no day tickets specifically for zones 1 to 2, there are pay-as-you-go caps. So, for adults in the real world, this trip would cost you £7.20, which is £1.80 cheaper than future post-Brexit prices. For children, I've chosen the age range 11 to 15, as anyone younger gets to ride the tube for free. The cost for this choice comes to £3.60, which is a whole £1.65 cheaper than in Legion. Finally, senior citizens in England only get discounts on the tube during off-peak times, so while elders in Legion enjoy a nice little discount, at this current point in time, real-life senior citizens have to fork out the standard £7.20, so for them, future Brexit will actually be a tiny bit cheaper. That's not a huge difference in prices when it comes to public transport then, but what about food and drink? Well, this poster here is shouting about a lovely deal where you can get a curry and a pint for £9, so I thought I'd visit the most Brexity of all pubs to see how prices compare. In this 2020 menu from the Montague Pike Wetherspoons in Charing Cross, the Thursday Curry Club offer gives you a curry and a pint for £9.25, which is 25p more expensive than Legion's post-Brexit prices. Other prices, like this £19 for a dozen tins of unspecified food, were a bit harder to work out, so I just left them. But to be honest with you, if Legion is right, prices might actually get a teeny weeny bit cheaper for food in the future and quite a bit more expensive for public transport. Unless you're old. Old people get a little bit of money off public transport in the future, so that must be their reward for voting for Brexit in the first place. Thanks, Nana. During my time wandering around the streets of Legion's London, I spotted something that was completely improbable and incredibly unrealistic. A bus stop that hadn't been vandalised. Not only that, but this fancy futuristic bus stop even had a superb digital display that told me the exact time I had to wait before the next bus arrived. So anyway, I figured, seeing as I'd been given special early access to the game and was under a strict time limit with a specific set of goals to follow so I could experience the game to its fullest, I figured, why not just stand around for a bit and see whether or not the bus actually turned up? Well, after stupidly waiting there like a lemon for a couple of minutes, I realised that the times on the stop were actually totally fake, and they were just a series of static images playing out on a loop, instead of being an accurate indication of arrival times. Brilliant. Well done me, you just wasted some time. Anyway, because of that, and because I'm a terrible, petulant child of a man, I decided to go off searching for my own bus, which I soon found, then hacked so it crashed into another car, and then stole.
What's the...
And you know what happened next after waiting to catch a bus for such a very long time? Well, just my luck, 2 more came along at once. Bloody typical, that.
Bloody hell. You think I'd be used to this kind of attention by now? Is it always going to be like this?
Until you lose them, yes.
Cheeky little fucker, ain't he?
And finally, one of the most stupid things you can do in the game, and in real life of course, is to go on a murderous rampage in an effort to anger a heavily armed PNC group.
Officer down! Officer down!
I wasn't just being a stupid psychopath for the sake of it though, there was a method to my madness, and that was to try and see what happened when I hit the maximum 5-star wanted level. Did I manage it? Well, see for yourself as the carnage plays out.
The suspect is now fleeing on foot.
I'm putting an end to this. Over.
I need vehicles on that suspect. Shoot her! Get down! Ah!
Can't be happening.
Get out of the bloody way! Oh no!
Need some cover.
I've lost the target.
Patrol requesting backup. Over.
Received. We are trailing the target.
Hope you're ready. Running to cover.
Officer down! Officer down!
Pressing target.
Direct hit!
All citizens are requested
Taking fire!
their complete cooperation.
Engaging target.
do this. Still on the suspect. Over.
When possible, remain indoors. Do not enter.
I've been shot! Ah!
What do I do?
Ah! Shots fired!
I say again, 5 seconds have been hit.
I'm coming for you!
Control, bring forward more cars. Drone is deployed to arrest the suspect. Right, close this fucker down.
Officer needs an ambulance.
Engaging hostile target.
Covering fire!
Engaging target.
Albion vehicles, if pursuit of lawbreakers, you can approach with little warning. Always be ready to clear the way.
We are in pursuit. I say again, in pursuit.
Hostile target.
I'm hit! Careful! Shots fired! I'm taking fire! Ah! Reloading! Pressing target!
All right, keep your Alan Wickers on. Don't have a Barney with me if the matches I sold you don't work. Get your bacon and eggs up those apples and pears, and I'll give you back your bread and honey after I've done me outro. Sorry about that, governors. Slight disagreement with a punter there after I lied to their boat race. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe for more Watch Dogs Legion gameplay in the near future, and maybe check out some of the other videos what I've done about it which are on screen right now. Goodbye, governors. Now who wants to buy me matches? Roll up, get your matches here. Lovely fresh matches, pound a pound. Just take a butcher's look at the quality. You won't Adam and Eve how many fires you can light with them. Come on, I've got to get some bread and honey to fix.